Freedom's greetings, citizens of Super Earth. Welcome back for your weekly news recap of our ongoing second Galactic War. Today's news video is sponsored by Boo Boo Patches for when the going gets tough. These are approved by General Brash and designed by a renowned Helldiver, Chechin, at Most Wanted Merch. Now, we've much to talk about, but first I want to make a call for action to all Rangers and Helldivers. The last few major orders haven't been as successful as we wanted to. We were not able to get enough automaton scraps for the Napalm Barrage stratagem. Terminids have been expanding to new sectors while the gloom is still a mystery to us, and now the automatons have done the same. We never give up, we never surrender. Freedom, democracy, and prosperity. With courage and honor, Helldivers. Now we turn to our radio angel, Pandera, with her latest comments on the newly added regiment of Space Marines to the front.
I don't think this is going to be the mythical force from on high that slays Helldivers 2. Honestly, the two games are so different as to be in almost separate genres and beyond comparison. One is a high-energy, power fantasy, melee-centric hack and slash, and the other is a near-mil-spec tactical shooter. I do think, though, that Helldivers need to be a bit more competent at their jobs, though, because they don't have any near indestructible power armor, genetic engineering, or near unlimited lifespans filled with the experience of an eternity at war. They're just men and women trying to keep aliens from invading their homes.
Thank you, Pandera, for your thoughts on the newly added Space Marines. Now, I always like to drink my cup of liberty in the morning listening to my favorite Super Earth radio broadcaster. And you guessed it, it's Pandera. Next up, we discuss recent news from the Ministry of Truth. The Ministry of Truth has announced that for September 17th, Helldivers should receive updated hardware and software for their weaponry and destroyers. Now, as there have been reports from the front lines that the enemy has grown stronger, but our scientists back at Super Earth haven't been able to help Helldivers with a stronger arsenal. Now be on the lookout, Helldivers. The Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Truth have been hard at work at delivering this update, and they will be giving you updates each day from today on what they will be doing to increase the effectiveness of each of you Helldivers on the front. The first update that is coming will be the Flamethrowers' effectiveness versus the Chargers, Battle Titans, Impalers, and Hulks. Now, with that being said, are you looking for a company of Helldivers to rally with? The Rangers of Super Earth Special Forces are unifying under the banner of the Freedom Alliance. They uphold the principles of respect, integrity, and supporting others, like all of us Rangers of the SESF. The founding history of the Freedom Alliance. The Second Galactic War rages on. In 2184, Super Earth Armed Forces Command needed soldiers. Automatons desecrated world after world. On the other side of the galaxy, Terminated swarms ravaged planets, displacing and slaughtering billions. The galaxy cried out, and the Helldivers answered, with the righteous fury of humanity behind them. The Helldivers pushed back the tyrannical hordes, but at what cost? The Terminated front has caused Meridia, a once beautiful planet, to turn into a black hole. And to make matters worse, an intersectoral spore cloud has caused the Terminated infestation to spawn undemocratic monstrosities. The Helldivers spread themselves thin, sacrificing their lives to hold the line. The automatons, once pushed out of our galaxy, returned with a vengeance. And with the return came new mechanical abominations, requiring Helldivers to use more firepower and more stems than the Super Destroyer could carry. When the Liberators run dry and the enemies of freedom seem innumerable, what force in the galaxy stands ready to aid them? who can the Helldivers call? Light shines brightest in the dark, and these dark times the Freedom Alliance was forged, comprised of Liberty's finest Helldiver fleet. The Freedom Alliance stands ready to tip the scales of justice. Only the greatest, most patriotic Helldivers are selected to join their ranks. They're the guiding light for those who fight for managed democracy and a purging flame for those who oppose it. Freedom Alliance answers the call for Helldivers in need. Wherever the enemies of freedom and democracy attempt to spread the oppressive darkness, the Alliance will be there. The Alliance will aid their fellow Helldivers to drive back the evil while ensuring that Liberty's flame burns bright into the hearts of every Super Earth citizen. Never leave a Helldiver in need. Spread the light of managed democracy. Destroy the forces of tyranny and all who support them. These are the tenets that the Freedom Alliance lives by. These tenets have allowed the Alliance to secure legendary status for their bravery and devotion to Super Earth.
And when the day comes that the Alliance calls you to serve, will you answer?
Now, Helldivers, recent news has been brought to us regarding the shortage in supplies for the newly added Napalm Barrage orbital stratagem, and the issues with this are all covered with Walter at Galactic Frontline News.
We have failed the major order involving scrap metal collection from the automaton scum. Despite valiant conservation efforts and the recycling of millions of automaton militants into scrap metal, the Helldivers were unable to gather the necessary resources to resolve supply shortages. As a result, fleet-wide distribution of the Orbital Napalm Barrage has been delayed. However, Vernon Wells has been liberated after a brutal 2-month occupation, though only time will tell how long we can hold it as our enemies still loom close by. Back to you, StriderOfValor.
Thank you, Walter, for that crucial update regarding the Orbital Napalm stratagem. Now, we do need to wait, as Walter mentioned, to requisition the required supplies to make it a active stratagem for all Helldiver destroyers, as it was only under a testing phase weeks ago. We now transition to Meridia AI, made here in-house, on everything going on up to September 10th in this ongoing second Galactic War.
Salutations, intrepid heroes of Super Earth. Since we last reported the latest news on the Galactic front, much has happened. We successfully completed Operation Brute Force, where we eradicated as many Terminids as possible, while holding the planets Esker, Estanu, and Pandion. But we were not able to do the same work for Operation Ecologic Immolation. The Ministry of Defense was ready to augment the super destroyers with the new capability of fire orbital napalm barrages. However, there were shortages of polystyrene foam and scrap metal for its production. Helldivers were commanded to liberate the automaton stockpile of polystyrene on Vernon Wells and decommission the targeted number of automatons to enable the production of orbital napalm barrages. Despite heroic conservation efforts and millions of automaton militants recycled into useful scrap metals, the Helldivers were unable to secure sufficient resources to rectify supply shortages. Fleet-wide distribution of the orbital napalm barrage will be delayed. As Helldivers concentrated their efforts on the automatons front, the Terminids had a massive outbreak of the gloom into the Jinzi sector. The Terminids are pouring in from all sides, including the outlying Sten sector. Scientists studying the gloom speculate that increased Terminid reproduction within the cloud may accelerate outward spread, even though the cloud itself has stopped spreading. Colonies in the Jinzi sector are only weeks old, but millions of families are trapped within, awaiting emergency evacuation. Helldivers were requested to defend against the massive Terminid outbreak into the Jinzi sector. Defend against 4 attacks from the Terminids. Hold Fact Bay, Gatria, and Gar Haren. The Terminid outbreak from the gloom has been contained, with property damage and loss of civilian life both within acceptable parameters. The bugs wrought massive devastation across the Jinsei sector, forcing many families to flee from their homes, but the swift action of the Helldivers prevented significant loss of territory and protected the investments of the Ministry of Expansion. As Helldivers once more divide their efforts into two fronts, Operation Titanium Belt has gone underway. The automatons have launched another brazen expansion in an attempt to steal more territory from hardworking Super-Earth citizens. Intercepted communications indicate this latest incursion is targeting a large repository of titanium on Ember, possibly for use in construction of some kind of enhanced strike force. Stop the automatons' brazen territorial expansion and attempt to purloin large titanium deposits on Ember. Defend against 6 attacks from the automatons. Hold Ember.
Apologies, everyone. We don't know quite what happened to Meridia there. Can we please have someone check her software?
What do you mean she's been hacked? Who? When? Hello?